Welcome to special edition of the Dr. Christopher Hall show, sponsoring it with the Neil Haley Show. And I'm excited to welcome my guest, Taronda Jones. We all know her from Empire. How are you, Taronda? Thanks for stopping by.
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me.
All right. So I just want to talk projects. When you start thinking about things that this is my baby, this is something that, each gets me up each and every day when we're creating something, when we're creators. Tell us how you got started about the never ever Mets. How did that happen?
Yes, so my manager called me and said that Owen was looking for a dating show host for the show. And they threw my name out there and he thought I'd be an interesting candidate. So I said, okay. And they interviewed me. I waited a few days for an answer. They called me back and it was like, we love you. Let's do it. And I remember talking to the producer. I said, what made you choose me? And he said, because I saw a video of you rapping on YouTube. And I just loved it. And we went from there. And they didn't make a wrong choice. They did exactly what they needed to do. So I'm here.
You're here. So when you heard about the premise of the show, what were your thoughts of it? And especially, on the network and how it's set up. Tell us about it.
I definitely thought it was a little unorthodox, but I thought it was also cool. I thought it was like, okay, this might be a new way to kind of bring awareness. I never thought, oh, this would make for good TV, but I think this will also bring awareness to. I'm a real big lover of love, right? I miss that energy when people actually connect, genuinely connect. And I feel like in today's time, we lost the essence of that. So I think this show is not only made for good TV, but it's also informative. We got a lot of dope exercises for the couples. We got a lot of like therapy is one of the things that's incorporated in this show. And I know a lot of people for a very long time have been shying away from therapy. We look at therapy as a bad thing, but this show, like I said, it's very informative.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times when couples have a disagreement, it's hard for them to talk it out. It really is. And then they each person has their own expectations that they never tell their mate.
And this show really teaches them how to communicate. And that's one of the number one things we push on this show. Communicate, 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 communicate. So I think down the line, I want to say things like was slowly smoothing out, but you can never tell. The cameras are on, so some folks, they might just put on face for the camera. But like I said, it's a really great show. It's very informative, and it's a lot of cool exercises that I believe if you're married or if you're dating, these exercises could be a helpful tool for people in a relationship.
And like, what did you? So I guess you learned a lot as well about relationships
Yeah.
through these exercises. So tell us, how is the therapy based in the show and stuff? Give a little bit more detail about the show.
So we did bring on two relationship therapists who were able to help them compartmentalize what most of the couples were feeling or what they couldn't say, but helping them articulate what it is they want to say. And also unpacking a lot of like trauma. I know one of the couples kind of unpacked some things that comes on tomorrow, that'll be aired tomorrow, but a couple told one of their traumas and their therapist was able to help them compartmentalize and work through that. Now, I'm not saying, they were saved right then and there, or there was revelation in that moment, but you could see a difference after the therapist came on. You saw a difference.
Yeah, it definitely, when you think about specifically enough people that have both gone through trauma from potentially another relationship and then they bring it to this relationship, that brings on a lot of problems.
It does. I think number one thing before you jump in anything, you got to be healed. I know a lot of women, because I was one of them, going into relationships thinking that this person was supposed to make me whole. And now I'm just learning. I'm this big grown age, and I'm learning that any relationship that I indulge in or anybody who comes in my space, it will be an addition. It will be an add-on. I should already be full. I should already be whole. I don't want anybody to come in to complete me. I should already be complete. Anybody who's going to enter a relationship with me, you should be an addition. Because I can't fill you up. Not going to try. I'm not gonna try to fill up no voids. Okay, if I come on and we do this thing, we just gonna be an addition to one another. We gonna add value.
And why do you think we don't talk about those things more about dating and how we're dealing with second relationships, third relationships, especially divorce and everything that, it's not explained to people. If you get divorced and or you break up from a serious relationship and then you go on the dating scene again and then you use that other person in a way to make you whole, which you brought up that you see a lot of times in next relationships, or that person is not healed, how is it hard to really tell if you've healed or not?
Oh, you'll know. You'll know because you'll move different. It's certain things you won't allow the next relationship you step in. There are boundaries you'll be able to set. You'll know. Trust me, you'll know. I always tell people because I've been in this whole stage of like honor your body. Your body gonna tell you everything you need to know. If I'm drained, the moment I step into something, this ain't for me. If I don't have the energy to do it, it's not for me. But if I have the energy to be present, the energy to give, the energy to compromise, if I have the energy, that means okay, this is it. But if I don't have the energy, your body gonna tell you everything you need to know. Honor your body. Honor
You
your
know,
body. You'll know you heal because you'll move different. You glow different when you're healing.
exactly. You do. And I guess you learn from this process, right? And if somebody, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you're saying in addition, I this when you probably talk to people that potentially would be in a relationship with, do they like hearing that? It's just an addition. It's not, you're not here to fulfill me. It's not, we're not going to be as one as people talk about sometimes. It can't be that way, especially because we have to be ourselves, and we're not able to be ourselves with our significant other. It's really a big problem.
And that word you use, expectation, is all about expectations. If I come in with having absolutely no expectations on you, and you come in having absolutely no expectations on me, we good. We on one accord. Because that expectation thing is there's already an issue with me being me. I can't be me if you have expectations on me. If you
I,
allow me to be myself, I allow you to be you. Because everybody gonna tell on themselves. They're gonna show you exactly who they are in due time. And if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, move around. Simple. We make dating so hard and it doesn't need to be. It's not that hard.
yeah, and then people now have to say to love themselves. If they don't love themselves, they can't date someone else. That's the
And
truth.
that's true. This is true because now you're going to be looking for something in this person and they probably can't give it to you. It's all a fantasy. I think a lot of us, we date because we like the idea of just having somebody and we don't really know the essence of like what it takes to be in a relationship. Some of us date because we just like the idea of just having somebody nice on our arms. We just like the idea of taking pictures and showing the world that hey, I'm taking, I got somebody. And the moment that phone is put down, you don't even like your person. You don't even like your person for real. You're just
Right.
doing anything.
And there's this image, right, of that person till you first meet. And that's the other part about this show is that they met online but never met physically. That's crazy, right?
Yes, they just like the idea of having somebody. And also, I think nobody wants to do the work for real. And I think that was one of the issues with the couples because when you ask them why haven't you guys taken the time to actually meet in person? I mean, they gave a reason, but in my opinion, it wasn't a valid reason. And I
Were
said,
they
oh,
close to?
nobody
Don't tell me
wants
they were
to
in
do
the
the work.
same city. Don't tell me they
They
were in
were
the same city.
I
Some of
had a
them.
couple who were in the same city. They were literally 45 minutes from each other, 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes from one another. But you know, in LA, it's a thing where if you live too far, they're not gonna take the ride. It's an LA thing. But it definitely had a couple who lived in the same city, but they never took the time to actually meet one another.
Is
Crazy.
that going to be some red flags, especially when they finally did meet in I guess this is what's going to make the show really interesting. If they really didn't portray themselves as who they really were online.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. Absolutely. There were some red flags. Absolutely. It's easy to hide behind a screen and be whoever you want. I mean, look at Instagram, look at Facebook, look at all these social media platforms where people could take a picture in front of a Ferrari And you think that Ferrari belongs to them, but really it's just a Ferrari they found on the corner that was just parked on the street. And I took a picture beside it. Now everybody think I'm a millionaire. This is not my life. I can pretend to be whoever I want behind a computer, behind a telephone.
So when someone
And I
messages you on Instagram or one of those places, how much is it totally fake and it's not the person that they say they are?
um, I've run into some pretty solid people. I've run into some pretty solid people. I don't think I've ran into anybody who was fraudulent.
Would you ever online date?
I tried it. I hated it. Don't like it. It's not my thing. They crazy.
You got to play, you got to be part of the game and understand, and hopefully that you'll hit up with the jackpot like I did, because I did find someone online, because I knew exactly what I wanted in the process and was able to weed out
I
what wasn't
know.
working and not
Got
working. Go
good
ahead.
for you. And you gotta know.
Yeah, I got it. I found it. And see, and that's the thing. You can't have this prescribed. It's just like a business, Taronda. You can't have this prescribed plan and say, guess what? You have to follow this prescribed plan to make it work. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Not at all. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, people, what's the latest projects with you? Do you have anything else going on that you want to tell your fans about?
I do have one project, but I can't talk about it. I'm also working on some new music, and I also have an acting class here in Chicago, teaching the kids between the ages of 6 to 18 years old. We're teaching more than just acting. We're teaching kids emotional intelligence, how to regulate their emotions. We're teaching them how to be a actress of all trades, teaching kids how to, or give them the tools how to not just act, but maneuver in the world. So I got a lot of great stuff coming up.
You can't say it. Isn't that the same thing? I just filmed part of my documentary, my comeback into professional wrestling, and I can't say much more than, hey, we filmed part one, part two begins in October, and that's it. It's it. You got to go and check us out, follow us, all those different things, and see what happens. So the best place people can connect with you, where's the best place for you?
You follow me on Instagram at Taronda J, TarhondaJay. Facebook, Taronda Jones.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Have a good one,
All right.
Marcus.
All right. You too. Bye bye. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show. We'll be back in just a moment.